Hi guys, today we're looking at the flight test demo for Null Operator by Anton Hand over at Rust Limited. Now this is a 6 degree of freedom flight simulator, so I've got my forwards movement, my backwards, left, right, rotation around all three axes, and I forgot one, haven't I? Up and down, of course. Now what sets this apart from certain other simulations of this type is that each of these thrusters you see on the front of the ship, I don't believe there's any on the top, but on the sides, the big ones there, on the bottom, each of these thrusters tracks their capabilities independently. So when I, for instance, press forwards to move forwards, the flight controller will ask each thruster what it's capable of contributing to that, and they'll respond based on their angle towards that particular vector, what their actual capability is, any damage they've taken, and so on and so forth. So then once all these reports are in, the flight controller will assign each thruster a particular percentage of their power to actually fire with, and that gives me the thrust that I'm asking for through a fairly long but actually quite realistic process. Now, this is a big old clunky ship to be flying around in, but that was the sort of the intent of the demo here, is to give you this type of ship to play around with. And it's actually quite a nice flying experience. I was reading the blog post where it's describing all of this, and you'll be quite excited to try it out because I haven't played around with this sort of in-depth simulation before. Now, of course, because of all the modelling that goes on, there's quite a few things this does fairly realistically. For example, you can see the thrusters below me are firing fairly continuously to counteract gravity there. If I tip onto my back, if I can get the angle right, so I'll be about there. And if I look sideways, you can see the thrusters on the side there are filing. They're not filing at all, thank you very much. They're firing with a fairly minimal amount of power compared to their full capability, because they're now the ones that are basically assigned with counteracting gravity. If I rotate slightly more, then they have to open up a bit more and fire with more power. And as I rotate back forwards, they're needed less and less until they can shut off. And the same applies for the ones beneath me there. As I rotate forwards, they will gradually close up and apply less thrust until they're pointing roughly sideways and they're no longer needed. Now, what this means is that as you take damage, of course, it really impacts your flight characteristics. For example, if I rip one of the thrusters off the side there, of course that means that I'll be slower moving forwards because I've only got one thruster left, but also, to keep the ship balanced, all the other thrusters will have to take part in movements I make more so than they normally would do. Which then also means that you get quite a difficult flight when that sort of thing starts happening. Because more and more you have to start to account for the fact that you don't have the capability you used to have. So, for instance, if I lose a few thrusters when I want to move forwards, I might also start to drift upwards or to the side slightly, depending on how the ship's having to compensate for that missing thruster. Now, what I am going to do is stop going on about this simulation for a moment, reset back to the start here, and see if I can manage this little ring course that's been set up for us here. Well, I could really do with inverted Y axis on this controller. Okay, first ring. I'm used to push. Yeah, that's not going to work at all. Let's try that one again. I'm used to pushing down on the controller to for the ship to move upwards, which isn't what happens here. Ooh, that's not going to help me very much. I can not control this thing. I'm blaming the Y-axis. That's what I'm going to say. It's the Y-axis's fault. None of it's me. Okay, let's take this a bit more slowly. Up, up, up. Good. Next one. So, this is really nice to play, actually. I mean, I know there's not a whole lot to do here, but the whole way the simulation works makes quite an enjoyable flight experience. I am slowly rotating here, which is probably not what I should be doing, because I'll probably lose all sense of my own orientation eventually. But I'm doing quite well on these rings at least. Oh, no, that's not good. Sideways and up a bit would help. There we go. obviously I'm not quite used to... Oh, that's not going to help anyone. Where am I? So you may have noticed there that when you do hit something, the ship basically tries to counteract... Oh, I must have lost something. No? I seem basically still good. That was a lot of impacts. The ship tries to counteract external forces, so obviously gravity is counteracting the whole time. But when you hit something like that, it basically tries to stop you moving and keep you at least relatively sanely positioned compared to where you thought you would be. That was a weird construction for that sentence, sorry. But the whole time this fly-by-wire system is trying to help you out as much as it can to give you stable control. I can guarantee if I was having to control these thrusters all manually, there is no way I'd have any sort of stable control. That is basically why fly-by-wire systems exist in the real world. Oh, let's not perform little spins, shall we? One thing I do want to try after the end of this is to see if I can find... Oh, I didn't realise I was so close to that. Is try to find some proper asymmetry in what this craft can do. So obviously... it's able to... Ooh, I'm going through the wrong way. Will it let me? Able to counteract gravity when I'm facing in the usual direction and when I'm pointing upwards. Where's the next upwards above me? And when I'm facing upwards, because I've got some pretty big thrusters there. But it doesn't look like I've got anything that will be able to counteract movement. For instance, if I was pointing... If I was upside down looking at the horizon, I don't think it should be able to counteract that given what thrusters are available. Like right now. Oh, I finished the run, 144 seconds. So I guess if anyone else wants to hop in and have a go, all the links are in the description as usual. See if you can beat my, what is presumably a pretty dire time, given it's my first run through the rings. But yeah, let's see if I'm this way. And yeah, basically, what is firing? I've got that thruster and that thruster, which are giving me a little bit, because they're angled slightly towards the ground at the moment. But presumably there is a way I can point where I will just fall out of the sky. How about if I give those... One sec. No, because then these ones will be operating, won't they? If I point this way? Oh, no, I'm giving these even more option then. Oh, it seems like this craft is designed not to fall out the sky. Which, I guess, is a good thing. I wanted to crash it. So how about we look at this damage modelling then? So each of these little blocks that make up my ship here, with the bars between them, I can't rotate. What's going on? Did I lose a thruster somewhere? So I can rotate this way. Who's doing that? Who is doing that? Oh, you. Did I lose... Oh, I lost part of the beam there. You can see it in the middle of the screen right now. Over this side, there is a thruster, that blue one mounted on it that lets me rotate. Over this side, there isn't one. And that is a very nice quick example of the damage modelling. So now I am completely unable to rotate clockwise. So anyway, what was I saying before I noticed that? I'm going to check out some damage modelling. So what I want to do... I'm not going to be accurate enough to rip off that thruster that's stopping me falling out of the sky there. How about these bottom ones? No. Anyway, yeah, sorry, the boxes and the beams that make up this ship, they're all independently sort of modelled for damage purposes, and any impacts will actually result in the force being transmitted along the beams, so it will cause more damage to nearby ones as well, so you could potentially rip off quite a chunk of the ship if you're not careful. So let's give that a go. Can I pull off one of my big old side thrusters here? It's probably unlikely given my piloting abilities, isn't it? Let's... Oh, did I get it? I got it! Nice. Just slam into the side of it there. So that's that gone. And just a fairly nice clean break, just taking it straight off the ship. And now I should be a bit slower. I should still be able to survive pointing upwards though, because that's a fairly powerful thruster still. Yeah, I don't... I'm staying pretty steady. This is obviously quite a useful control system. Doing its absolute best to keep me in the sky. But if I rip the one off the other side, I suspect it won't have quite such an easy time when I'm looking upwards. So, of course, that's exactly what we're going to try to do. Oh, I completely missed that. Not having this thrust available is making the control a fair bit harder when I want to steer and stuff, because presumably they would normally be contributing to the steering quite a lot, so if I'm thrusting forwards with any real power, I just can't steer towards the left very easily. 6 degree of freedom has the potential to make you a little dizzy. Yeah, I can steer to the left. I can't steer very effectively to the left. Here, man, wow, losing my ability to control this thing. Just through that, that's my own fault, though, not a control system. Gradually losing engines a little bit more. Can I get that one off? No, I was hoping to get that one off the top right there by just scraping against the... Oh, there goes a few things. Well, I don't know if I have any effective control left. Let's rotate to a sensible way around. Oh, I can't rotate at all anymore. I'll have to do it the old-fashioned way, by just spinning myself, if I can remember how to do this. Like that, and just flip over. Probably the quickest way to do it. There we go. So what do I have left? I still have that thruster somehow. Anyway, I think I've messed around in here enough for now. This is, as I say, the flight demo for Null Operator. Anton Hand. Subscribe to him on YouTube. But on Twitter also, he posts up regularly screenshots and such from the work they're doing. And he's got a very nice sort of ambient exploration, The Remnant, I think it was called. Check that out, that looks actually quite nice, relaxing I guess, but also a bit creepy. It's all good work from over there. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.